Hey everybody, it's Melissa Robinson with Melissa Knows Mount Juliet, brought to you by Robinson Properties. I am here today with Miss Leigh Anne Rainey. She is the new principal at Mount Juliet High School, and I thought everybody would be anxious to know more about her, meet her, figure out what she's going to do this year at Mount Juliet High School. So I thought, you know what, I'll go in and interview her. So Leigh Anne, tell us about yourself.
Sure. So I was actually raised, I spent most of my life in Williamson County. I graduated from Franklin High School. Elementary school, I went to a combination. I went to Creve Hall Elementary School in Metro, and then I spent a couple of years at David Lipscomb Elementary. So I'm a Middle Tennessee girl at heart. I got out of college, I graduated, I went to UT Martin on a softball scholarship, and I played softball for 2 years, and then I was on the dance team for 2 years in college, and then got married right out of there to a Memphis boy, and so we moved to Memphis, and I started my teaching career. I did my master's program at the University of Memphis and started my teaching career in Memphis City Schools at Ridgeway High School.
Wow, so you have a wide variety of education backgrounds.
So I did several years at Ridgeway High School, several years at Collierville High School in Shelby County, and then my husband was transferred to Arkansas. And so I spent 14 years in Jonesboro, Arkansas, and that's where I started my administrative degree, was at Jonesboro High School.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have lots of high school background.
Lots of high school, about 22 years worth of high school background.
Very good. Very nice. So with all that high school background, what are you most excited about being here at Mount Juliet High School?
So this population in this school, it's amazing, first of all. And a lot of the schools that I have taken over at some different point in 3 different states, I've stepped into kind of a messy situation. I've had to do some cleanup work before I could actually start doing some of the fun stuff.
Okay. So now you get to start.
No,
you get to start with the fun
clean,
stuff.
Fresh school, and it's in such amazing shape. Mr. Brown, there's just not words for him and what he has done, and he's such an inspiration to me, as well as all the other administrators in this county and across the Middle Tennessee state. And so big shoes to fill is what I keep being told, and so my answer to that is that there's absolutely no way.
Right.
That's not there. You just can't. You can't do the same things. And
no.
So, but I'm excited about taking on what he has done, and then we can actually move forward and looking at things like how we can build this school more technologically, and how we can make a better footprint with that, and get our students the materials and the equipment they need to be 21st century students when they get into college or career, whatever their goal is, and to make them just a very sound group that the workforce is wanting, that they're looking for our graduates to come to them because of their backgrounds that they have. So,
that'd be great.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, what's your long-term goal for the school?
Long-term goal, and really actually much shorter than long, is
always in education.
One-to-one is to make this a one-to-one high school. It is a very large school.
Yes.
Last year we went one-to-one at the middle school, and that was the first large-scale one-to-one middle school for our county. We have other schools that have kind of dabbled a little bit, but we actually just pushed the whole thing out to Mount Juliet Middle, and it was a raving success.
Dive in head first.
It just might as well. And that's actually the second school that I've taken one-to-one, and we did the same thing in Arkansas with our high school, and I had about 1,300 students there and only 3 grades at that high school, and so it is smaller, but it's the same principles.
Right.
And so that is our goal, is to get the school in a more online cloud-based platform, so that we can then expand our ability to work more virtually sometimes, and to be able to accommodate different students if they're out, or if they have this come up or that come up.
Right.
If we're in a virtual environment, we can adjust much more quickly. And then also, if we're expanding and continuing to grow, and depending on what we're doing with the new high school, which we desperately need, I'll put that little plug in there. But, as we continue to grow, even at that, we're looking at a 2 to 3 year span before we can get into a new building, and we're tapped out. We're almost, we're at almost 2,300 right now.
Oh my goodness!
With our pending enrollments, and we're only built for 2,000.
Right.
So when you're looking at that much overgrowth, you have to be really creative. You have to
Right.
think way outside the box. And we have to think of online school that we can offer through this school, where they can do a couple classes in the morning, a couple classes in the afternoon, because the ability, as we are approaching that 2,500 mark,
Right.
the ability to get that many people on campus and off campus at the same time from 8:15 to 3:15
Right.
every day is virtually impossible.
Right.
So we're going to have to look at some flex hours. We're just going to have to be real creative. And I've spent a lot of time studying some of the very, very large schools in Northwest Arkansas, Bentonville area, Walmart, all
Right,
Tyson
yes.
Foods, a huge, and they're 4,400 plus student schools.
Goodness.
And so I traveled there quite a bit in my Arkansas stint, studying how they accommodate, because they have the same issues. Their schools are not built to hold 4,400. They're built to hold 3,000, and they're 1,400 over. And
Wow.
they had to do things like a 0-hour class, and when you offer and how you flex. And so I've spent a lot of time studying that. So I'm hoping we don't have to use a lot of that knowledge, but the reality
But it's nice that you're preparing.
we're going to have to.
Right.
So that's long range, is shorter than long, is to get a computer in everybody's hands and then get our system trained to be more virtual.
That's great.
Yeah.
So guys, it sounds like it's going to be a wonderful year here at Mount Juliet High School. And like I said the other day with Mr. Dawson, I'm a little jealous. I think I'd like to be in this building as well, learning and doing those kinds of things with Ms. Rainey and her staff. I think you're in great hands, and I think you're going to be prepared for whatever comes next after high school. So thank you so much, Leigh Anne, for letting me come in.
I look forward to a great year. We're ready for all of our kids to come.
Great. Well, thanks, everybody.
Thanks.